again from your...
Yeah, from Fubon Foundation.
Yeah.
Good.
Amazing.
Yes.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I think UK kids would love it. It would never be made in the UK. It was too, it was just too difficult and gritty, and it was fabulous. I loved it.
And why would you do it then? Because
I'm not from industry. I'm an academic. I just think the competitive side and the kind of Shakespearean emotions that were at play, I don't think we would present children in that way.
I agree with you.
Would industry like to...
Yes,
Yeah.
I felt it was the most beautiful piece, and again I'm going to take it back and we will watch it, because we would have been scared to show the grown-ups being a bit cruel to the children and saying, you've got to go in there, you've got to do it. We would have been scared to show what we would have conceived of as failure of the elder brother, all those things that you were bringing up at the top about your hero and you've beaten your hero, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was and children would love it.
I love the scene with the littler brother, the baby brother as well. We never see that. We'd never see that either. With the changing the
Taking
nappy
care of
and
them,
You never see a boy changing a diaper. I thought that was so important. That it was such a contrast to such a masculine, overall being so focused on masculinity, and then you have this really nurturing piece of a boy changing his little brother's diaper, and I feel like when you see that depicted, it's always the girl.
And then wrestling with the baby brother and loving the baby brother.
Yeah,
But
it was so
it's
sweet.
25 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have watched it for an hour. All you had was two boys and their kind of antagonism, and one wanting to beat the other and the other. And actually, it was beautifully shot. I mean, the camera angles were amazing, and the confidence of the making I thought was amazing.
One thing they did that I really liked is they gave the camera to the kid finally. They gave the camera and they filmed what they saw and what they thought was relevant to the thing, and it's so fun. And the video game sprites and health bars, it doesn't add to me anything to the story, but it's so fun. It makes all the experience so much more engaging, because you start really rooting. Because when you come to think of it, it's a sport, so it has scores. It's just like a video game. It's like, okay, let's see this boy go to the next level. Let's see him beat his brother finally.
And it did help me, since they change singlets often, since they wear different colors, it helped me to remember sort of who in each situation.
I like the ending, and I understand that the idea was also to have the big brother saying, I wish you the best, and it doesn't matter if you lose. I would love if that could be covered so you don't notice that it's an interview in a different day, because you clearly see that he's on the bed and on a white wall. Don't get your mind off the match, because they are in the match. I know it happened in a different moment, and for me that's fine, but that sort of frame that came from other plays sort of took me away for a minute. But I love the intention of it, to show that the brothers are good, that they support each other, that they wrestle, but at the end of the day, they love each other. So I think that the heart is on the right place.
Yeah, to me, coming from education, I had the thoughts wow, the same as was mentioned before, it is about competition, it's about force, fighting, and I worked in a school, and it's in the US, and it was never fight, never competition, let's leave it out, never allowed. But I myself, in every break we went on and we were fighting with each other, let's go for it and see who's the strongest. And so in that way, I thought it was kind of on one side refreshing to see okay, we can see this, there is a fight happening that is so natural for boys to just get into a fight. And then at the same time also shocking, oh my goodness, they're actually getting violent with each other. So
With the boundary, that when they're in the ring and the one punches the other after losing,
yes,
the coaches step in and say, there's a right way to do this and one.
I think it's also just
everyone knows, I was like wrestling with this to myself, going like, ah! But I also think it's really nice to see kids allowed to have emotional complexity about stuff because, you know, he clearly loves his brother, but then there's moments where you really see the rage of the younger brother, which I thought was like really fascinating, and all the trash talking and I don't want to say love-hate because I don't think it was hate, but just that complex feeling of being really competitive and wanting to win above all, regardless of who you have to take down. And as a joke, I kept telling Elliot, I was like, this is somebody's villain origin story, but I don't know who's the villain, if it's the older brother or the younger brother.
Or the
But-
baby.
Pardon? I don't know, but I think, you know, I think just kind of like what you had said, Lynn, like the grittiness and just allowing these kids to have these very real and complicated feelings and just allowing that to be was really refreshing for me.
So
Like
that's
it
the
didn't
re-
have to be like smiles and like, or sterilized in any way.
So that's the reason why you have to go back in 5 years and find those two brothers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
see where they
Let
go.
me
See
add
who
one more thing
became the
that
villain. Yeah.
for this year's our two production team by the sea and also the in the mountains is in prison. They're now in prisoners, and but for the match, the production team, the good news is they're developing to the feature film right now. So right now they're in the island to doing the production. So we will have the next episode.
All right, we've got one more in the Welcome to My Life.